Got all of that worked out finally, right as the race has started. So Maxwell's in second place, chasing down Morris. Chain Game Wow in third. Fourth place is Calvin, and Kara is fifth.
Look at Chain Game Wow all over Maxwell's. Right all over his gearbox. And Shoaib's out of the race. Shoaib's out of the race. His rear end hit the wall. VSC applied.
So a virtual safety car for Shu being out of the race.
So right now, let's see who's got the best reactions. Good start for Morris. Look at Carmen Robb in TRT Trench. Already 10th and 11th already. Wow.
On board with Trench. Of course, there's really not much to see, except there is now, though. The virtual safety car has lifted. Car has a drive-through penalty, though, for speeding under the virtual safety car.
Oh,
Kara,
no.
your GP4 champion. He just cannot catch a break in this series.
Damn if you do, damn if you don't. He's taking the drive-through now.
Well, at least he lucked out with the virtual safety car ending when it did, so he can take the drive-through. So Trench moves up to 10th, Carmen Robb to 9th, because Kara moves to the very last position.
Oh, we've got two McLarens going very wide of Amir and Godobbo, going very, very wide at both of them at turn 2. So, very, very lucky there. We've got Cohawks round. Luke Bailey's got a time penalty. Let's see if McCauley can get past Godobbo.
On board with Macaulay in the Aston Martin, the solo Aston Martin out there on track today. Never mind my username down there. That was obviously a bit of a glitch if you watch the qualifying stream. So Macaulay in 7th place, get nice line through that chicane, gained a lot of ground.
Kyle Robb on the run. Kyle Robb on the run of Stocksy.
Side by side with Stocksy 9. But I think Stocksy 9 is going to win out here. He's going to have momentum on the outside, but he actually let Carmen Robb go. He let it off the throttle. Carmen Robb goes around into the 9th position, or 8th position, excuse me. And Sonic Hawk's out. What's happened to Sonic Hawk?
Oh, no. Tough break for Sonic Hawk.
So will we have another virtual safety car? No, it's going to stay green. Sonic Hawk out on lap 2 of his first race back. Morris sets the fastest lap. Now Maxwell's setting the fastest lap. Still watching Carmen Robb
looking for another pass on Macaulay.
On board with Carmen Robb as he tries to navigate his way around this Aston Martin.
I think what Carmen Robb's going to do is go wait to the DRS straight, and if it's close enough, he can get the toe from Macaulay. And if he does get a good drive out there, he can definitely get the DRS on him and get past him on that back stretch. Which he does.
And Macaulay went down trying to give a block, but it was too late. He had to abort the maneuver. So Carmen Robb goes around for 7th place, but just barely clears him as they enter the chicane. Carmen Robb has his sights set on that McLaren of Godobbo now. And remember, Carmen Robb started at the very back of the field, dead last almost, him and his teammate. And they've already worked their way up to 7th and 10th, respectively.
Very good driving from both of the Haas guys. Carmen Robb and TRT Trench making very light work of these GP2 drives at the moment, which is very unhardly to say, but very good driving from them.
Half a second behind Godobbo is the Haas of Carmen Robb. No battle up at the front at the moment. Morris still leads Maxwell's with Chain Game Wow in 3rd, Calvin Racing in 4th, and Omer in 5th.
The other Haas on TRT Trench having a look at Stocksy 9 now.
And he dives out, thought about going on the inside line, but not close enough. And that was a huge gap. That would have been a very ambitious maneuver had he went for it.
You think so? Look at TRT Trench. I'm going to look down the inside of Stocksy 9. I think he's got to run him and hit him.
He had it, but he lost it. But he might have the DRS here to help him out, and he will. He's going to go to the inside. Stocksy 9 tries to defend, but not much that he can really do. Looks like he might have took the overtake mode on to try to defend, but ultimately has to concede the position. He spins! Stocksy 9 around.
It's TRT Trench up into 8th to 9th place. Both Haas cars making superb progress as Calvin is in 5th place now, splitting the two McLarens.
So one Williams driver spins, the other one in P5 at the moment. Carwin Robb in 7th. We can see him back there. Dabo with a time penalty. Looks like that is going to be a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. There is the tires that they started on, guys. And there goes Calvin Racing to change those tires, interestingly enough, after only 3 laps.
Well, the tires do last 3 to 4 laps around here, the soft tires after qualifying, so no surprise that Calvin's in to change the tires.
So Omer in 4th, 5th is Gadabo, Carwin Robb in 6th, McCauley in 7th. Morris still leads with Maximus and Chain Game. Wow, your top 3, still not a lot of battles going on at the moment, but a lot of drivers deciding to pit.
Looks like the front 3 are just minding their own business at the moment, letting these guys battling out. It looks like Carwin Robb is very eager to take down this McLaren of Gadabo.
It's almost like the McLarens are a sitting duck. They have pace, but
it's like Trench is going to get past McCauley, actually, Tim. Here goes Trench getting past McCauley and into 7th. What's with the Haas cars today, Tim? They look fast today.
Well, you say that like they're not fast every day, though, Oliver.
And look at Carwin Robb down the inside of Gadabo, and he gets him.
Oh, Gadabo goes a little bit wide off that track. You got to be careful there. You already have 3 seconds. You don't want 3 more.
McCauley wants to try and get past Trench. Doesn't get him.
Go to Chain Game. Wow, now in 3rd place. Give him a little bit of love. Omer decides to take a pit stop after 4 laps on those tires. McCauley going down there as well. Gadabo, he's going to stay out for at least 1 more lap. Can't double stack the McLarens. That'll just hurt you more than it will help you. Carwin Robb promoted to 4th place with 5 laps on those tires. How long are these front runners going to stretch these softs?
I'm voted for this lap now because the tires must be burning at this rate. Is it weird? Is it nice to see a Mercedes and a Red Bull first and second, just like in real Formula 1 terms?
Honestly, not really. I kind of wanted a different change of pace. but it's not Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen. It is Morris and Maxorus. Bit of a coincidence there, actually. Maxorus in the Red Bull. But yes, it's Morris and Maxorus. So these are the good Mercedes and Red Bulls. The ones that don't win every single week. But Morris, he might be winning today if he keeps it up. 1.9 seconds ahead of Maxorus, and he got the pole. He's the fastest car on track by far. Morris, it's really his race to lose at the moment, but Maxorus might disagree and say that it's his race to lose because he can see first place. He just has to catch him.
So look at Morris. Let's see if he pits, because it'll be interesting. He can pit now and get onto the hard tyres, get to the end. That's his, in my view, and he does pit now, so let's see what Morris goes for. And Max Riss decides not to pit. He's going to try to go for the undercut strategy.
So Morris does pit. Max Riss stays out. Gadabo in 4th, but he is pitting as well. Is Carwin Robb pitting? No, he is staying out, so we'll take a look at Carwin Robb now. Trench in 3rd place.
So the top few cars, Morris have gone onto the medium tyre, Chenga's gone to the hard tyre, and Gadabo's onto the medium. So it looks like Chenga wants to go very long, and looks like Morris is committed to that 2-stop strategy.
And
he's come. Ooh, Luke Bailey almost had him. Oh no! Look, Morris is gone! Morris is gone!
So Morris off the track, no damage that I can see, but there might be some minor wing damage that he has to deal with now. He drops down to the 13th position. Luke Bailey in 5th, 6th is Crowhawk. What happened there, Oliver?
Morris just lit up the rear tyres and he's just absolutely, well, he just spanned the car. He just lit up the rears.
So just a driver error puts him down into the 13th place. Crowhawk and Luke Bailey trying to run nose to tail around here. The two teammates in the Alfa Romeos. Maxorus leads with Carvin, Rob, and Trench, your top three. Those are the only drivers on the soft tires who have yet to pit, with the exception of Kara in P8.
Looks like Calvin's just getting past Kara. Pretty easy for him. Looks like Omir wants to get past the Red Bull of Kara now.
And it's a three-car battle for 8th. You got Calvin there, and then Kara in 9th. 10th is Omer. As you were saying, Oliver, it's just really a three-car battle for the final few points-paying positions. It's only lap 8 of 27, though. They got 20 laps to go.
And then we've got the top 6. Starts to pit, but here comes Omer.
Calvin was looking underneath the McLaren, not able to do anything with it. Omer in 9th. Kara in 10th. That was Kara, actually. Excuse me, not Calvin.
And the Alfa Romeos have switched, so looks like Luke Bailey's into 6th place, and Crowhawk into 5th place, sorry. So yeah, Crowhawk in 5th, Luke Bailey in 6th. We're checking well just behind them with 1.1 seconds behind the Alfa Romeos.
Still waiting on those top 3 runners to pit. Surprising that if the window was 3 to 4 laps, that they can go the full 7 laps.
You got to remember that Kara and Rob started on the soft tyres, so they're brand new, so they can go a few more laps more longer than the qualifying soft tyre runners.
But I find it even more surprising because he started all the way in the back, so he still had to work his way up through the pack. Sure, we've had a few people that have spun, but
Omir's looking on Calvin.
On board with Omer now.
Looks like Calvin's got a really good drive out of that, and Che Wow now's on the back of Luke Bailey's caught the Alfa Romeos now. This midfield fight is getting really, really tasty. And look at the big fight here for the battle for the 11th. That's Morris on the back of Kara, who's on 8-lap-old soft tyres now. Those tyres are absolutely finished by the sounds of things. And look at Chego on the back of Luke Bailey.
Oh, and Omer's going around Calvin at the same time. And Omer makes the spot on Calvin, moves up into 8th place.
And Morris moves up to 11th after his spin.
And now Macaulay, 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. He's running in 13th position at the moment.
Max Rose is pitting now. And so does Carmen Robb. What about Trench? He's staying now because of his teammate.
So Trench in first. Carmen Robb, as you said, makes the pit stop, goes for
We've got a fight
mediums.
actually. That's Crowhawk and JD Galley. Side by side they go.
Oliver, we have a huge fight. Look behind them. It is another Alfa Romeo of Luke Bailey. And
oh my word!
Just a lot of jostling around for position. Some contact there. We got Crowhawk up into 2nd place, but just behind him, it's JD Galley in the Mercedes. He is in 3rd. Maxorus in 4th, just behind them. And then Luke Bailey in the Alfa Romeo. We're right on board with him. He's got the best view of this battle. It is just a line of cars. J.D. Gallet a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Not going to do himself any favors. Maxler is trying to get around that Mercedes of J.D. Gallet, but will he be able to make the move? He's going to have a DRS zone coming up. He tries a crossover move. Cannot do it, but here's the DRS, and he's going to make it look easy here. Maxler is underneath of J.D. Gallet, and he gets the position done. Will he clear him by the time they get to the chicane? I think that they will. Yes, he does. Move Maxler up into the third position. J.D. Gallet down into fourth. Luke Bailey in fifth.
Oh, beautiful switch. Beautiful switch from J.D. Wow. Absolutely beautiful switch back. Gets to drive out of that chicane, and now he's on the back of J.D. Gallet. Wonderful move from Chain Game.
And Oliver, we have a 9-car train behind this battle here. I just
look at Calvin on the back of Luke Bailey. Can he get the move done? He's going to try and get the drive out of this corner. No. But look at Chain Game on the back of Gallet and gets past him. Chain Game goes flying.
Chain Game Wow not wasting any time around this race course. Oh, and Luke Bailey another 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings.
And speaking of Luke Bailey, he's on the back of JD.
And he's trying to go around him. He might just have him. No, though. J.D. Gallet a little bit faster. Luke Bailey sends it into turn number 1. Almost gets it to the back of J.D. Gallet. Hangs on to it. But now underneath of him, who is that? That is the Williams. That is Calvin making a way through. And now Omer in the McLaren. He is in this mix as well. And Carwood Rob in the Haas. Big surprise there. He's making his way up through the back after pitting for medium tires. There might have just been some contact, though, between Carwood Rob and Luke Bailey. Does Carwood Rob have any wing damage whatsoever? I can't see any. It doesn't mean he doesn't have it, though. So that might have just hurt Carwood Rob's chances, but it looks like he's fast enough to get a DRS run on Luke Bailey, so he might be okay. Looking underneath that Alfa Romeo, Carwood Rob versus Luke Bailey, and will he get the move done? Yes, he does, into the chicane, but he picks up a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings.
Oh,
and that was a car round. Was that J.D. Gallet? Yes, it was. He drops down to 11th place.
And look at Morris up there in 8th place. He's the guy who just pitted and who's just spun round. And look at Omer on the inside of Calvin. Can he get the move done? Got the inside line going into the corner. Yes, he does. Omer moved out into 4th.
Carwood Rob trying to move up into 5th. And eventually chase down Omer. Wow, that was so close. You could not fit a piece of paper between Calvin and Carwood Rob. So Carwood Rob moves his way up into the 5th position. Calvin Racing in 6th place, trying to get back by Carwood Rob. This is just a tight, intense battle. Luke Bailey in 7th, Morris in 8th. And Cara sets the fastest lap, a 1:32.896.
So, Calvin and Morris on the inside of Luke Bailey. Can he get the move done? Morris around the outside and gets Luke Bailey. Morris making a great comeback drive at the moment.
Morris into 7th after putting major pressure on Luke Bailey. But Luke Bailey trying to return the favor here, put major pressure on Morris. He's looking underneath him, though. Will he be able to get the spot? No, he doesn't. He has to concede the position. Morris left plenty of room, but that still could have been very bad if Luke Bailey hadn't let off the throttle.
What a close race, Tim. What a very close race.
Very close race indeed, at least for the mid-pack battle at the moment. You still got Maxlerus up there in 1st, Chain Game Wow in 2nd. Now Chain Game Wow in 3rd because Crowhawk makes a move into 2nd place, but he just pitted. So that's how the pit lane actually works, is it advances your position very briefly on track.
So, who's got the advantage here? I think Chain Game Wow might have made the right call here because he's on hard tires in 2nd place. Showing great pace at the moment. Speaking of great pace, that's Morris out there with Calvin. Right behind him. It's not that bloody red cup.
Morris in 6th place looking underneath Calvin. And he's got the DRS run, so he's going to be able to get it. And Morris moves up into 5th, and Calvin, he did not even fight.
Is that Calvin saying that it's not his race at the moment?
I think it is. He's already got a time penalty. He's got 3 seconds worth of time penalties, but a lot of other guys do as well.
I got a question for you, Tim. Who's fighting for 3rd place right now? And it's a Haas car.
Omer in the 3rd position for McLaren, but then that Haas car that you're talking about is Carwin Robb. Big surprise there.
This is a guy who started, what, 16th?
Oh, and Omer spins around, so Carwin Robb goes into 3rd. Omer, last week's winner.
Carwin Robb called it the easiest overtake of all time.
It's like the Red Sea just parted for him.
Just roll out the red carpet. Why not?
So he now has his sights set on the chain game. Wow. You were talking earlier about who has the advantage, chain game wow or Carwin Robb. I'm really trying to think, because with the lighter fuel load, 17 laps on medium tires don't sound too bad, but it is a lot of laps, where chain game wow can most definitely go to the end on those hard tires. But we see how fast Carwin Robb is.
Is Carwin Robb trying to get past chain game wow as soon as possible, build up the gap that he needs so he can get onto the soft tire? Wow, this will answer my question.
And there he goes around chain game wow. Carwin Robb moves up into the 2nd position.
You can't deny Carwin Robb is an absolute extraordinary driver. He is a man on a mission.
Yeah, he really is. He told us early in the season he wants this championship. He wants to make Haas the fastest car. And, well, quite frankly, and with the current state of Formula One, that's the only way that Haas is going to be mentioned in the same sentence as fast. So, good job to Carwin Robb.
And you as an American, Tim, you like to see it. Apart from the colours, of course.
Haas is not an American team anymore, my friend. They sold out. They sold out. Morris in 4th, chasing down chain game wow. 2.1 seconds behind him, though. I do really want to see how this strategy for chain game wow works out. It's not a strategy that, well, I was going to say I didn't see it used much in the GP5 race, but actually I only knew what my strategy was, so I don't know what other strategies were used during the GP5 race. But Carwin Robb, a 1:32, sets the fastest lap of the race, but still 3 seconds behind Maximus.
Maximus will know that if he's got a race engineer, he'll know Carwin Robb is a man on a mission. He's absolutely flying. Now, he's got to be careful not to burn up the tyres too much, otherwise he'll have less grip than he needs at towards the end of his stint. So these are the cars to them and stretch them. But we do have a battle though, Tim, and that's TRC Trench and Macaulay.
So Trench, it looks like he's got a DRS run on Macaulay, but he makes the move at the last second, can't get it done. So Macaulay will stay in 7th place for now. Trench is going to have to find a way to rebound from that.
You are right though, Tim. It'll be very interesting how Chain K-Well will manage this, because if he can really get those tires to the end, he needs to be one hell of a solid pace driver and put consistent laps in and keep pressure the best he can on the medium runner guys, so he'll have a best chance of not even getting a podium but actually winning this race.
We'll just have to wait and see, because right now it's looking like those medium tires are the way to go and definitely the best call. But here in a few laps, they might start to fall off a cliff, so we have to just see how it plays out. Calvin Racing, though, in 5th place, thought that for a moment that there was a battle for position. But again, the pit lane just caught me off guard. Luke Bailey pits after 14 laps on those hard tires.
Morris has called chain game, if you want to know, Timster.
0.8 of a second behind chain game wow.
It's been a good couple of drive comebacks. You got Carwin Robb in 2nd, Stu started way down the order. We got Morris up there in 4th after he had a spin.
And I'm honestly surprised to see Morris as close to Carwin Robb as he is. I mean, Carwin Robb, he started at the back of the pack, so after Morris spinning out, it sort of almost cancels each other out in a way.
Trent just caught Macaulay and passes him.
So Trench moves up into 6th. The Haas car is running 2nd and 6th place. The constructors leader, the constructor
Morris is probably
championship-
looking at chain game. Can he get the move done? Chain look a bit squirrely going into the entry of the corner. Morris taking a different line there, but doesn't seem to be making much dividends.
Now, Oliver, is it just me, or does Chain Game Wow look like that car is just a tad bit squirrely?
Yeah, it does look a bit squirrely on the braking, yeah.
And he goes into the pits. I think that answers that.
That's very surprising, that. I would have thought he'd gone to the end of those tyres.
Maybe he's had the problems that I've had in some of my races where it just feels like there aren't any tires underneath you at all, and you're just driving on complete ice. I remember Monaco especially. For some reason, I felt like that.
And Trench is moved up into 4th place now.
So the two Haas cars, the constructor standings leading. The constructor that's leading the championship standings at the moment, running 2nd and 4th. Just cannot get my words out today, Oliver. I'm telling you, man. I need your help.
Well, what you're trying to say is that the Haas cars are the leading constructor in
Yes.
GP2 at the moment. Yes, there you go.
Thank you so much. You found the words for me. Teamwork makes the dream work. Looks like Calvin Racing, though.
Just like Hendrick Motorsports.
Oh, Hendrick Motorsports, they are on an absolute tear.
Oh, Macaulay's round. Macaulay is rounding Aston Martin. Macaulay's round.
Is a shame. So
we have got a fight though. That's Luke Bailey and Calvin.
On board with Calvin. We were watching that just a moment ago, and Calvin with the DRS is going to get underneath. Luke Bailey makes it look easy. Move him up into the 9th position. Luke Bailey drops down to 10th.
So we're going to penalties update, Tim. What's the penalty saying at the moment with 11 laps to go?
Well, we got Carmen Robb with 3 seconds, Gadaba with 9, Chain Game Wow with 3. Then you got a load of 6s, 6 seconds for Calvin, 6 seconds for Luke Bailey, 6 for Stocksy 9, 14 for Crowhawk. And then 9 for Macaulay, 3 for Cassidy, and 6 for JD Gallet.
Gadaba is pitting in the McLaren.
Still watching the battle between Luke Bailey and Calvin. Wonder if maybe Luke Bailey could mount a charge and get closer to Calvin, but it just seems like that Williams has more pace than that Alfa Romeo, so he's pulling away, and Luke Bailey just going to have to watch as he drives off into the horizon, but not without effort, as Gadabo and Cara are having a bit of a battle.
Because Gadabo now out of the pits, and it's rejoins the track in 10th place.
Oh, I thought they were having a bit of a battle. See, I'm telling you, my wires are just so crossed.
You're having a massive off day, Tim. I feel bad for you at this rate.
I think I'm just gonna go back to sleep when this race is over.
You know what? That's like the best idea you can think of.
Oh, and Macaulay's out. What's happened to Macaulay? Did he retire in the pits? I think he did.
Yes, he did. Yeah. Oh, bless him.
Just a bad day going from worse. Macaulay joining Tom actually in the comms booth yesterday for the GP3 race, and I'm sure he was hoping to have a better race today and maybe use
I watched that stream. He did a fantastic job as a co-com as Macaulay. He sounded really good.
I didn't get a chance to watch it yet. I was actually commentating for another league at the time.
Yeah, if you have time to, give GP3 a watch and listen to Macaulay during the race. He sounded pretty good.
From what I understand, it's been about 2 years up until that time, until he had commentated on a race, and so he was, I guess he thought that he was a little bit rusty, but hey, everyone seems to like it, and that's what's good.
Amir's now pitted off. So the median time's got a limit. It's got up to 12 to 14 laps. So that's interesting because Morris is on that same life of tyre now. Trench with the penalty. So what's Morris going to do, Tim? Do you think he's going to pit now and follow him?
I am not sure exactly what he's going to do. Morris, at this point, he's probably just trying to figure out how he can get back up into first no matter what happens. Gadabo, though, I just noticed that he actually pitted again for some reason. Unless that was Omir. But Morris in
third.
It
was Omir, yeah.
Max Orvis in first, Carmen Robb in second, Morris in third, Trench fourth, and Chain Game Wow, your top 5 with Cara, Calvin, Luke Bailey, Gadabo, and Stocksy 9, your top 10. Lap 19 of 27 remaining in the Speed Force Racing GP2 French Grand Prix. Who is it going to be? Who's the one that's going to win all the marbles? Who's the one that's going to stand on the top spot of the podium? We will find out in 9 more laps. But so far, Max Lewis is the man with the plan, the man in charge in the Red Bull, but being pursued heavily by the Haas of Carwin Robb.
2.5 seconds now between Max Lewis and Carwin Robb. So Carwin Robb looks like he's playing the safe game at the moment, just making Max Lewis knows he's there. But all in all, Carwin Robb has had a very, very, very supreme drive here today.
So, I was not able to catch and see what happened in qualifying, but apparently you said that there was a massive crash. What happened with Carwin Robb that made him start in the back?
I just caught it. So, from my understanding, that Carwin Robb had lost it on the very fast left-hander before the first half of the Mistral straight, and he literally speared it into the wall. That cost him his qualify, but other than that, unbelievable driving from Carwin Robb and TRT Trench. Both Haas cars phenomenally done well today.
They really have, because they start, like we were talking about, they started 17th and 18th position. So Carwin Robb he's not messing around. Trench isn't messing around. They are definitely going for the Constructors' Championship. Of course, GP3 last season, Haas won the Constructors' standings, and now, even though it's 2 different drivers, they're trying to do another one.
Yeah, exactly. Now Morris is now 2.6 behind Carwin Robb. So right now the leaders are just very very equal at the moment. Very, very, very equal. So right now these 3 guys are trying to think when's the best time to put onto the soft tire. The soft tire window they're in now. So are they going to go to the end, or are they going to go to the end and stop for softs and then go to the end and sprint it out? If it's a safety car right now, perfect for the top 3, but right now we've had to wait to see who reacts first out of the top 3 cars.
Meanwhile, Luke Bailey still battling with Calvin. I've been watching the interval for the past couple of laps. He has kept it within about 0.7 of a second, give or take a little bit. He had it as low as 0.5 of a second just now into turn 1, but now steadying back to about 6 to 7/10. Luke Bailey, he's got a little bit of pace, but he just cannot get to Calvin. I'm wondering, is it just that Calvin is just a tad bit faster than him, or is Luke Bailey just suffering from dirty air?
I think Luke Bailey right now is just suffering from the dirty air of the Williams. He's closing in, but he then loses front downforce in the third sector, making the front of the car wash out underneath him. So I think Luke Bailey right now is just having a little bit of front downforce lost from the dirty air of front of the Williams.
0.8 of a second now separating Calvin and Luke Bailey, and the more I watch it, Oliver, the more I think you're right about dirty air. It just seems that he can start to gain on him, and then he hits a bubble. And Kyle Busch, I know that this is a different series, but Kyle Busch actually described being stuck in dirty air as kind of like putting a beach ball between you and the car, a big giant beach ball.
If you ride on board with Luke Bailey, Tim, watch the front end. It's not gripping as much as front of Calvin. Calvin's got the clean air. If you ride on board with Luke Bailey here, watch the front end. There, it just washes out from it underneath him.
And
he
really,
is suffering.
He definitely is. Definitely not the race that Luke Bailey was wanting today. Still in a points-paying position, 8th place, and so far the only Alfa Romeo driver scoring points today.
I feel what Luke Bailey needs to do is take a sort of a different line to Calvin, so you can try and close that gap down to him.
He needs to try, but like you were saying, though, if the front tires are just washing out from under him, that's going to be easier said than done. That could really end in disaster. Of course, anything can end in disaster when you are stuck in dirty air and you're very impatient and just want to get around. Not sure how Luke Bailey's demeanor is behind the wheel at the moment. I just know that it's probably frustrating that you can't get around the car that you seem to at least be on equal pace with.
Exactly right. So Carwin Robb at the moment is now starting to closing a lot more now on Max Rest. It's now 1.8 seconds the gap. So Kyle Robb is chasing. Will he catch her before the end of the race? That's another matter.
So Morris 3 seconds behind Carbon Robb, who is 1.7 seconds behind the leader of Maxlerus. And then Trench is 12 seconds behind Morris, so he's 12 seconds away from a podium. Really, without any safety cars and just one VSC, it has allowed this field to get so spread out.
Luke Bailey's still stuck behind that Williams. Doesn't know what to do at the moment. But he is closing in slowly. Oh, penalty.
That's another
and
penalty.
Amir spun off. Amir spun off with no front wing on the car.
So Amir's bad day goes to worse. Cannot defend his win from last week. He'll have to wait another week to try to get his second win on the season. But here's an update on the penalty situation. Carbon Robb has 3 seconds worth of time penalties. That's one thing that we haven't actually talked about enough, Oliver, is he picked up 3 seconds worth of time penalty. So even if he gets by Maxlerus, he still has to build that gap up ahead of him. Where Morris doesn't have any time penalty, so he might be promoted to second place at the end of this if he can stay close enough to Carbon Robb. Meanwhile, Luke Bailey, he is closed into just a 1/10 of a second behind Calvin Racing. This might be the move that he was waiting for, but he's got 9 seconds worth of time penalty, so he's going to have to kick it into high gear because Calvin's only got 6.
So if Luke Bailey wants to keep that 7th place, he needs to get past Calvin and build the 3 seconds that he needs to get past. So you could permit that 7th place, but that's easier said than done because that's Calvin you're all about, and he's no slouch.
So Luke Bailey's got a DRS run on Calvin, but it's such a short straightaway compared to the back straight that I'm not sure what he's going to be able to be doing with it. He gets close to him, he gets right up to him, but that's all she wrote before they get to the corner.
Luke Bailey's pushing every single track limit on this race course to see if he can just get by this Williams. He needs a good exit out of this corner. He needs a very good exit. Takes a different line out to Calvin, which looks like a lot more better, but look at that. Calvin took a very much a better line going through there. That promotes him and put part of 10, but I think Luke Bailey will get him on this lap, Tim. I think.
You think, but it did not happen this time. Calvin, a great job at defending, moved over just a tiny little bit that made Luke Bailey second guess his run, and that was just enough for Calvin to stay ahead.
So the leaders now, I think they just submit to their place now because Kyle Robb is not pushing anymore to get too close to Maxlerus. So I think submitted to defeat here that he might drop down to 3rd.
He does still have a chance, though. He just needs to gain a little more than half a second on Morris. But with lap 25 of 27, he's got plenty of time to do it, but the laps are definitely winding down, and that clock is ticking. We are within, I'd say, about 5 minutes at the end of this race. So Carbon Robb has essentially 5 minutes to get 0.6 of a second further ahead of Morris.
Checking him out with a 3 second. Luke Bailey closing. He's got it on some of the winners, and he finally gets him.
So move Luke Bailey up into the 7th position in front of Calvin Racing. Of course, he still has to put 3 seconds.
But now, trouble for Luke Bailey. Now Calvin is going to get the DRS on him now.
So let's see what Calvin can do. We'll ride on board with him. He's got the DRS, but not really able to do much with it. He can get close to him, but he's not going to be able to make the move before they get to the corner. So Luke Bailey will hold on to the 7th position for the time being. Maybe he can do a repeat of what Luke Bailey did to him going into turn 1 and get around him with that DRS zone. But if that doesn't work, then Calvin's just going to have to look at the back of an Alfa Romeo for a while.
Or is Calvin playing safe here and not fight Luke Bailey and get the 7th place over penalties? That's what I would do.
Realistically, that is probably what he is doing because you can see the time penalties that the competitor has in front of you. Calvin has 6, Luke Bailey has 9, As long as he stays within 3 seconds of Luke Bailey, he will jump him and get that 7th spot. And there's realistically no way that Calvin is going to catch Kara in 6th place without a safety car, and it's lap 26 to 27, so a safety car is even out of the question. So the best that Calvin can do today is 7th.
2 laps to go now. Maximus looks like he's on for the victory here, Tim, with the Red Bull.
He might be. Carlin Robb closing in slowly, but not enough, especially with that time penalty. 1.3 seconds, 1.2 seconds now separating them. It's almost like Carlin Robb is just trying to give it one final push just to say, hey, I could have done it.
Yeah, that's pretty much the saying.
But he's also got to think about Morris behind him. That is, as we were talking about, 2.5 seconds separating those two drivers. So
he needs half a second to beat Morris to keep the 2nd place.
And when Carlin Robb is struggling to find half a second, that these drivers they definitely ate their Wheaties this morning.
No, they're really dialed in. It's been a very standard French Grand Prix. It's a very, very strategical race today.
And Omer set the fastest lap of the race, but he's in 13th position. If he could get into 10th, then he could at least get an extra point.
So, Maximus on the final lap of the race. This is his victory lap. Good drive for Maximus today. Yeah, very true. As long as he doesn't spin it.
Of course, we've seen that happen many times before, Oliver. On the last lap, a competitor makes a mistake, and that's all it takes to cost them a good position or a win. Carlin Robb getting even closer to Maximus.
Morris would love that if Maximus spins off. And if Carlin Robb gets into the lead, Morris can still win over the penalties, but it's still 3/10. He's actually closed onto it now, but I feel like you said to him, too little too late.
Likely so, but Carlin Robb
one
still
last
pushing.
effort though for Chenge Wild Team actually on Trench.
Let's look at the time penalties for them. 6 seconds on Chain Game Wow, 3 seconds for TRT Trench. So this is a losing battle that Chain Game Wow is fighting. No way he'll be able to put enough distance between the two.
Here we go, Tim. TRG Maximus about to take victory.
In the 3rd and final sector now, the Red Bull of Maximus. He may not have been the one that you expected to see win, but he's going to be the one that crosses the line in first, and with no time penalties to his name, he's going to be the one to get the victory over Carlin Robb and Morris. Congratulations, Maximus, on your win in the French Grand Prix. Carlin Robb in 2nd, but he drops down to 3rd. No, he doesn't, just barely 0.07 of a second to the good. Morris finishes in 3rd.
Carlin Robb, driver of the day by miles. Well done to Carlin Robb for 2nd place. And holding on to Morris only just. Carlin Robb, driver of the day for me.
I have to agree with you there. And Trench jumps Chain Game Wow, goes into 4th. Chain Game Wow down to 5th. Kara in 6th place. But will he be demoted? No, because he has no time penalties. Behind him, though, Luke Bailey, he's got quite a lot.
Right, I better start adding these guys in, Timster.
Gadabo in 9th place. Stoxy 9, though, jumps him at the end. So Stoxy 9 goes up into 9th. Gadabo in 10th. Cassidy in 11th. Crowhawk 12th. Omer in 13th. And JD Galate in the 14th position.
And Forever 24 JG is in 15th.
Yeah, that one doesn't exist.
Do you know who that guy is, Tim?
No, honestly, I actually don't, because I'm right here. So I don't know who that is. I can legitimately say that's not me.
I think that's your twin brother. I don't know.
Well, I don't know. Maybe they did say my dad was a player. Gadabo in 10th. We'll get our top 3 interviews in here before I go further into my family history. At least I can laugh about it.
It's been one of those days today, isn't it? It's been one of those days.
I might just go to sleep after these interviews. I have no idea what I'm going to do.
Don't blame you.
So, after what is the word? Tumultuous, stressful, crazy, at least on our end, or my end, really, but a very much happy race for Maximus. Here are your official finishing results for the Speed Force Racing GP2 Series French Grand Prix. You have got Maxorus, of course, winning the race in the Red Bull. Second place is going to be Carwin Raw by just 0.7 of a second. And then third place is Morris Trench in fourth. Fifth is Chain Game Wow Kara in sixth. Luke Bailey in seventh. Calvin Racing in eighth. Stoxy 9 in ninth. Godavo in 10th. Cassidy in 11th. 12th is O'Meara. 13th is Crowhawk. JD Galay in 14th. 15th is Macaulay. 16th is Sonicock. And 17th is Shu. We'll talk to our top three finishers of Maxorus, Carwin, Rob, and Morris here in just a moment.
It's been a very box standard French Grand Prix, would you say, Tim?
It was fairly calm, honestly. No safety car, just the one VSC, and other than that, it was just Maxorus got out ahead, and he was able to stay there. Got a little dicey there toward the end, but with Carwin Rob's time penalty, there was no scenario where Maxorus was not going to be the winner as long as he stayed on track, which ultimately we can see that he did.
The top three is just arriving now, and there we go.
We got all three of them in here in a row, pretty much how you finished. Good job. Actually, it's exactly how you finished. Maxorus was first, Carwin Rob was second, Morris was third. You all timed that perfectly. I love you for that. So, guys, of course, you know how it goes. Before we start our interviews, please make sure you've allowed your voice to be shared. If you don't know how to do that, go over to the party settings, click Always Allow, and let me know when you're ready. I can hear you.
Yeah, good.
All right, so first things first, we'll talk to our winner in the Red Bull, Maxorus. Going into this French Grand Prix, did you expect to be walking away with a win? Tell us about your race strategy and how you were put in that position.
Oh, bless him.
It's fine. It's fine. Well, you did a good job nonetheless, Maxorus. So congratulations on your win. Oliver, do you have any questions for him?
So yeah, Maxorus, how do you feel going into your next race of the season, the Austrian Grand Prix? Oh, well done, Maxorus, well done. Time to speak to our driver of the day, Tim.
Yeah, time to speak to the driver of the day. Indeed, Carwin Rob in the Haas, driving from pretty much dead last all the way to the first or second place position, not first place, excuse me. And Carwin Rob, just tell us what happened in qualifying that caused you to not set a time, and where did you find the speed to pick off all of those cars?
Well, first off, I think it was definitely my fault in qualifying. I went for the slipstream and I just smashed into the back of the AlphaTauri. I just didn't react to him, and the race, I just found it really fun. And I don't know where the speed came from. I'm telling you, it's the Haas.
You did say at the beginning of the season that you want to make the Haas car the fastest car in your division. You definitely proved that one today.
Exactly, it's with my teammate as well. He's actually getting results now.
I was about to say, because you and Trench is actually putting the results in. Haas has gained more points in the Constructors' Championship now more than anyone. It's been a very dominant season for you and Trench. Is this the exact teammate you want for this season?
Well, yeah, I've known him from other leagues, and we've always been teammates.
So, moving on to the Austrian Grand Prix, you're going to see a bit more of a Haas domination there?
No. I hate Austria. It's probably my worst track in the game. I think I prefer Monaco, to be honest.
Ooh, that is a hot take if I've ever heard one. But we know who to watch. Well, I would say we know who to watch out for when we get to Monaco. But I forgot we've already done Monaco. So I guess we know who to not watch out for at Austria, I guess. But realistically, what are your expectations for that track? Like where do you think you're gonna finish?
I'll try for a podium, but I don't think I'll be challenging for the win.
He's only saying that to play down his chances.
Maybe
No,
so.
trust me. Just don't spectate me. It'll be embarrassing.
Well, congratulations nonetheless on your second place finish today. Now we'll go and talk to Morris in the Mercedes. A great recovery drive. He started on the pole, led most of the race, spun it out of the pits, and came back to third. It's not the result you wanted, Morris, but you did a great job recovering to get it nonetheless. Tell us about your spin out of the pits and what happened there.
I'm fuming with myself to keep it PG. Just put on fresh boots, and I was like, okay, let's go for it. I knew I had the lead, and I knew that I was quick, so I was like, okay, let's push. And then, you know, pushing out the pits, going full throttle around turns 1 and 2 is never going to be the best result. So, yeah, I'm not happy, but yeah.
Was the win definitely on for you today, Morris? Because it looks like you had serious pace today.
100%. I don't want to be cocky or anything, so I only came P3, but I put in quite a lot of practice for today, and I felt pretty damn quick. My pole lap was pretty shocking as well, so to come away with a pole, I was quite surprised, to be fair, only doing a 28.9. But yeah, I was like, after the start, when I had a 2-second gap, I was like, okay, I'm comfortable, I got the pace, and I was just trying to be so cautious. And then coming out of the pit, just like, right, I got so excited, oh my god, I'm going to finally win a race this season, and yeah, that happens.
Mercedes curse struck you again, hasn't it, Morris?
No, I don't even start with the Mercedes curse, Oliver. I hate this car. If anyone in this division genuinely wants to trade cars, then please do. Because I'm fed up with this Mercedes, honestly. It's dull to look at. It's dull to sound. I was in the Haas last year, and Rob's doing bits with that. I said, the Haas, it's the slowest car on the grid in real life. But league racing, take the Haas. I should have taken it.
I was in Red Bull last season. Look at that turned out.
Fucking, yeah.
I can't listen to the sweary, guys.
Yeah.
I think the same.
I don't know. I'm normally quite good on my tyre saving, but I was trying to keep up with Rob because he had his 3 seconds. I was like, well, the plan originally was to go to the pits, but then the second I spun, I was like, if I pit, I'm not going to make the time back. So I thought, I just have to try and keep with Rob when it was 3 seconds. I was like, I'll keep with him. And then when it got to the line, I ran out of fuel. Typical. So, yeah, F1 luck wasn't on my side, but then again, I messed up. So, but yeah, it was an interesting race. I'll stop talking now.
So, yeah, actually, one more question from me, Morris. Same with the other two. The Austria Grand Prix.
I love Austria. I really like it, but again, I'm not going to say anything because I'm yet to win a race this season. And I'm attempting to go for the title this year.
Can you break that Mercedes curse? Come on.
No. Let's be realistic. I'll probably get a safety card. I'll have a lost souls moment, and he'll get rammed into, and I'll get rammed into, and it'll just happen, won't it? So,
well done, Morris. You actually, well done for clawing back, buddy. Well done.
Yeah, JD Goulet finished a race.
Well done to him, yeah, I was about to say.
I said to him, mate, if you finish a race, I'll buy you a McDonald's. So now I have to go to Mackey's and buy him some food.
That is the most American thing I've ever heard you say.
And yes, I'm proper British. Jeez.
I don't know what the last 2 hours have been anymore. But
guys, once the stream's over, you're gonna hear the whole entire story.
This is
yeah,
all
we've got some questions to ask
that
you.
we have time here. So
why was
yeah,
I racing Aston Martin was stopped?
Do what?
Your car was behind me at the start.
Oh yeah. That was a where I got in late. There was just an issue to where I guess instead of hitting spectate, I just hit ready up.
He thought he'd do me because, like, when I commentated GP1, I put myself in the race at the start. Most embarrassing commentating moment I've ever had in my life. But we move on.
Oh yeah. That's kind of what I'm going through now. But we're still streaming, guys. So that's all the time that we have left. So Congratulations to our podium finishers. Thank you to everyone who watched. Thank you to all the drivers that raced with us today. And until next time, good morning, good evening, good day, good night, wherever you are in the world. Have fun, and goodbye.